Hey, welcome to the Broken for Better podcast.
We're a nonprofit organization with the purpose of equipping your marriage and strengthening your family so that your tomorrow can be better than your today.
Enjoy the episode.
Statistics show that you're probably not spending enough time with your kids. That's a heavy statement, right?
I mean, hey, welcome.
Welcome to Broken for Better with Kurt and Denette.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about a very real topic, one that we definitely, I think, tried to make, we succeeded in and then didn't succeed in a lot of ways, and I think this is one that was very big to us that we really tried to make a priority. But do you spend enough quality time with your kids? Like literally, what does that do? What does that look like? How do you do it? Is dating your kids even a thing? You know, how do you process that as you teach your kids to have a healthy relationship?
Yeah, it's really good. And I just want to start because as I did research for this and looked at statistically, that even allows us to make that statement of your statistics show you're probably not. I want to give you statistically what the time spent with children are.
Okay.
I want you to hear this. Time spent with children in a normal day-to-day activity is for 0 to 6 years old, 2.1 hours. 6 to 12 years old is 1 hour, and 12 to 18 is 1.34 hours. Time spent with children in the physical care, like caring for your children, helping them get healthy, feel better, less than an hour.
Wow.
All ages.
Wow.
Like truly caring for the soul, physical needs, mental needs of your children.
Wow.
Time spent playing with children outside of sports.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because that's a whole we can get into that one, okay?
Yeah.
Outside of sports, time spent playing with children, less than an hour of day every age.
Wow. Wow, that's really, really just telling, isn't it?
Times, and I'm talking about when I say less than an hour, 0.6, 0.09 hours, like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
0.3.
Wow.
I mean, crazy. Time spent in education activities with children per day, definitely less than an hour, almost less than 0.1 of an hour every day.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
less than 6 minutes.
Yeah. And, I think it's so important to, when we say these stats, it's not to like make anyone feel, less than. You have different seasons of life that are really, really hard, but it's that one little step of, man, how do we make a step towards the right direction? How do we make more of an impact when we just give all of our kids' time away to everyone else, and then we wonder why they maybe don't carry the same priorities as we do? I think it's very telling why. It's like, who's investing the most into their life? Who are they getting the most encouragement from,
Yeah. And I'll tell you, like, one of the biggest negatives of lack of time with children is trust issues. I can't trust someone who I don't know. Okay. And I think for many times we just expect trust to be this blind thing of, you trust me because I'm your parent. Seems right. But as a child is growing and their mental stage is growing and they're learning new things and they're having to experience life on their own, they have to trust in unknowns. And many times, just because you say isn't the reason they trust. And if we haven't spent time and quality time, and I don't know that you have my best in mind, and you haven't told me the pros and the cons, you haven't told me the counterfeits as long as the good, we haven't processed these things out, then how can I trust what you're saying is absolutely true?
Yeah.
Can I truly trust that this isn't the best for me?
Yeah, it's crazy that you say that, because when I think back on, us raising our 3 boys, there definitely were seasons where one of our children or 2 of our children would want to know the why. They'd want to know, the purpose behind the whatever. And your
The why question.
Yeah, the why question.
The
And your
why.
first instinct is to say, because what? Because I said so. And yes, we want to teach our kids to be respectful, absolutely, but we also want to encourage that growth in our relationship with them, to where they know that we have their best intentions. We know that they know that they can be we have the best for them, so they trust us and I can't say the word,
Implicitly?
implicitly, yes, that they trust without question, that they know that we have the best for them. And so it goes back to that communication of letting them ask the questions, but not necessarily changing the dynamic of the outcome as well.
So this is why we called this dating your children. Because when you and I were dating, what were we trying to do?
We were trying to get connected. We were trying to woo each other, win each other over.
Formulate this idea that we like you and that we trust you.
Yeah.
So I want to see you in your good days and your bad days. I want to ask all the questions. I want to know about your past. I want to know about your dreams and your futures. I want to know all these things because in this dating you, I'm growing in my trust with you. And so that's why we've said, hey, do you date your child?
Yeah.
Not, if I just showed up at your softball practices and I sat in the bleachers while you did softball, I'm not getting to know you.
Right.
I'm not hearing your heartaches. We're not building anything.
Yeah,
I'm just supporting you.
Yeah.
Right?
You're a driver.
And I think many times as parents, we're like, well, I drive him to here and I take him to this and I do all this and I've taken him on this trip and I've done that. And we do all these things, and all these things we equate to we're getting to know our children. Many times we're not getting to know our children. Many times just because you drive them somewhere, you have road rage and you get angry in the car. So what they've learned of you is, oh, you have an anger problem. Not, wow, what's driving your anger problem? What's your bad day look like? Let me in on your stuff. So dating your children is so huge because they get to know your heart. Hey, share with me why you want to tell me. Let's just take a real topic. You want to tell me sex is bad for me? Great. Just don't tell me not to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Tell me why I shouldn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me why it failed you.
Yeah.
Tell me why it hurt you.
Yeah.
Tell me the good parts of it so that I realize there is good in sex.
Yeah.
But there's a time for that.
Yeah. In the very first episode of this series on the Love Doctors, we were talking with a couple about that dating, that dating safe space, that when you go on a date, do you keep that space safe? Do you have the hard conversations on that date? And when you're having a healthy relationship with someone, you want those dates to be saved for moments that are special and build relationship. And so if the only constant conversation we're having with our kids is correction, is what they aren't doing, what they should be doing, we're not building those winning moments, those relationship building moments that we're actually able to give ourselves to them and to give themselves to us, as far as actually seeing what they're about, what's their passions, what makes them drive, what makes them tick, what are things they love, what are things that they hate. And it's so important to build that dynamic even with our kids, because they are also going to take those same tools that we've given them and built with them into their future, into their relationship, if they have one down the road. And so how do we instill that in them and let them see what's important?
Again, research will show you that it works itself out.
Yeah.
And so when there's this lack of trust, when there's not time spent with a parent, you see aggression, you see short-tempered, you see bullying. You see these things manifest in children when they don't feel like, wow, I'm connected, I trust someone, and someone hears the depths of my heart. They work their pain out in other ways.
Yeah.
And man, I think so many times why is he so mean? And I take him to places and he can't stay there. He's bullying all the kids around. And the teacher keeps telling me, like, wow, they just don't. And we're too busy saying, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. When maybe a conversation needs to be had of like, hey, let's get to know each other. Where are you hurting?
Yeah.
Because your behavior is outworking itself in a negative manifestation.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about that.
Yeah. So I have a question. How, with couples that we sit in front of, and we coach them, what is your advice when it comes to how do you date your kids? What does that look like? What are the do's and the don'ts, if you will? Like, what does that even look like when it comes to dating?
Amazing question. And I go back to our dating. Okay. And somewhere dating morphs. When you and I first started dating, I remember putting together dates, doing things that I would never do.
Yeah.
Because all I wanted to do was woo you. I wanted you to go, wow, this cat does everything I like to do.
Right.
Then we get married.
Yeah.
And now our dates and our time together is what I want to do. We're married. Now let's go do things that I want to do.
Yeah.
And so I'm dragging you along to these things. And you're once again in my world getting to do, oh, Kurt likes to do this. And if I'm not careful, it's very unhealthy. And you get left with this emotion of, wow, we never really do any dates that I want to do. You're constantly dragging me to what you want to do.
Right.
Dating your child, I would give you the same exact thing. You sit down with your child and find out what they like to do.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you, your answer immediately could be, well, my kid only likes to do a few things.
Or nothing. My kid-
Or nothing.
Yeah.
No, he likes to do something.
Right. Yeah.
My kid likes to read. My kid likes to play video games. He just has his headphones on the whole time listening to music. Like, it's totally distracted. He never wants to do anything. And when I ask him, what do you want to do? The answer is always nothing. And what I'll tell you is I think so many times what a child hears, and we hear this in student ministry when we did that for a long time.
Yeah.
What a child hears in those questions is, hey, I'm going to drag you around to what I want to do. Be happy and like it.
Yeah.
I'm spending money with you. I'm doing all these things. You need to be more appreciative and thankful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I'll tell you is when you date your child, sit down and have a conversation. Maybe the conversation's short. Hey, what do you like to do? Nothing. Great. I know you like to do nothing. I know you listen to music all the time.
Yeah.
I'm going to line us up a time to go to a concert.
Yeah.
Who do you want to go listen to? You want to read? Great. We're going to go sit at the library. Well, you don't want to go sit at the library? No, but I know you like to read. I'm going to take you to the library and we're going to sit there. Well, I don't want to do that. Let's go to a comic book store. Okay. Then we'll go to a comic book store.
Right.
You want to play video games? Hey, listen, and stop being, I would say, for once, maybe don't let them know how much time they spend on video games. Sit down and play a game with them.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what? This is your world. Here's what I'm going to do. Let me play.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be terrible. I know. Let's laugh about it. Let's laugh at how bad I am at video. I just want to see why this is so important to you.
Yeah.
And what you're showing a child in these moments is, hey, I'm willing to rip down my walls and I'm willing to get into your world. Do that over a period of time with true intention and true heart to care about your child, and you will watch your child tear down their walls.
Yeah.
These are not things that I'm just saying, that I'm just talking about. I was about it.
Yeah.
Like, I had to sit with my child and go, you want to be a gamer?
Yeah.
You want to stream all the time? Perfect. Put me on your stream. Let's do that. Dude, I'm not doing that. It's weird. Come on. I want to get in your world. Let me see what it's about. And dadgum, if he didn't put a headset on me and we sat and streamed a game together.
But you know what? You were excellent. You were excellent with that. Like really making it about making the main thing the main thing and making it the priority. And it goes back to, you know, maybe when you look at, you know, at your spouse and your relationship has gotten like, you know, kind of just dull when you date your spouse and you have to have a conversation and say, man, how can we change this? It's that same thing with your kid, man. I miss you. I long to have like time with you. And so when we look at that and we actually are kind of repentant in this moment going, man, there were some things that maybe I missed in scheduling things. And it's all about the things that I've got, or all we do are these things we got to take you to every single day. I miss my connection with you. So how can I like enhance that? How can we make that better? You know, for our boys, they did have all different differing interests, and you were so good about trying to break down those walls and get into their circle. And there were times that we did great, and there were other times that we needed to reassess and we needed to rebuild connection. But it goes back to that desire. Do you desire to have that connection with your kid? Do you desire to want to get in their world? Do you desire for them to see how much you love and respect them, that they're worth it, even if it's something you don't like?
Hey, and the truth is, this hasn't stopped.
Right.
I now have grown adult kids.
Absolutely, yeah.
I still date my kids.
Yeah.
Well, what does that look like? Now it's turned into, hey, I've got to go to this job site. You want to go with me? Yeah. Hey, I'm going to go hit the golf ball. You want to go? hey, Dad, I just want to sit on the back porch and let's have a cigar together.
Yeah.
Let's have a glass of wine. It's okay. Well, that may not be what I feel like doing or what I want to do in that moment, but I know the investment I'm making, and so I sit there, and it opens up walls of communication. So that dating your child doesn't stop because they hit a certain age, man. This is a lifelong commitment that I just want the walls of my child to be torn down.
Yeah.
I want my walls to be down. I want to know the inner parts of their heart, and I want them to trust me with the inner parts of my heart.
Yeah.
And to do that, I've got to be very intentional to get into their world, because when I want them to step into mine, I want them to have the credibility and the equity for them to do it.
Yeah, and I think when you think about dating your kids, we see, you might see the pictures on Instagram or whatever with the dad taking his daughter out or the mom taking the son out. And we definitely did that. And I do want to touch on that. But if you're doing it just with the mindset of, hey, this is what a man does, that's great. But what goes deeper than that? A man, yes, he should be bringing flowers to the door. He should be holding the door open for you. All of those things. But you know what else a man does? He has a good communication. He's loving. He's engaging. He's interacting with what are the things that are important to you? What is a decent wife doing? She's checking in and pulling out those little nuggets of truth. So when we go on those dates with our kids and we want to have connection with them, it's not just teaching them the right and the wrong and the pulling out the seat and all of those things. It's not, again, those XYZ. It's a matter of actually building that communication and wanting them to see what a healthy relationship looks like,
Yeah, I think it's just great. Like I love it. And I think about, for the most, even probably everyone watching, you think about the time you spend with your kids and you've laughed and communication was great. You leave and you go tell your spouse in the bedroom, like, that was way better. That was awesome. Like, we had a great time. I wish we did it more.
Yeah.
Though that line, like, don't wish. If you're going to talk about it, be about it.
Yeah.
Make it a priority. And what you see is, you wish you do it more, great. Then that just means get into their world a little more.
Yeah.
It builds that trust. And these are the positive aspects of it. So as you begin to date your child and get in their world, you're building trust. Wow, my parent would get out of their world. And it's less about me doing what they want. I'm always going to grandma's house. I'm always going to aunt and uncle's. I got to go to church. It's everything that you got to do. And they finally said, you know what, I'm going to come to you. So you build trust. It also enhances communication. Get somebody in an environment they feel natural. They're going to be willing to open up and communicate more subconsciously.
Right.
I just feel more at ease because this is what I want to be doing. So I'm going to laugh easier. I'm going to be open and honest more. So you're creating spaces where communication is real. It's authentic. It's done in vulnerability. And again, I love, if we have seen this, we've laughed about it. Dude, like, students read through crap.
Oh, absolutely.
You date your kid with a, like, unspoken agenda, that ain't going to feel like a date. They're going to read through it. They're going to know this is exactly why you did this. Don't ever date me again.
Yeah. You said something very interesting when you said, being in a space where they can be vulnerable and open. If you're in that moment, you're trying to build connection with your kid and they bring something to you like a fear, or they bring something to you like, maybe they're struggling with trusting God. Maybe they're struggling with their faith right now. And your first thing to do is to shut down, or your first thing to do is to just spew all the things that they should believe, or they should. Immediately, you've shut down that communication. And so it's allowing that space to say, hey, I want to have communication with you, but I want to give you this space. And no matter what you say back to me, I'm going to hold it tenderly because I know this is something that is important to you. I know this is something that you are really processing through, and I want to be a safe place for you to do that.
So I have the greatest, and that is so well said. Like, in the way you said it, I don't know if I've ever heard you voice it like that before when we've coached couples. It was so good, and it literally shot in this moment in my brain. That we say get in their world and it creates vulnerability in a safe place. And I think about a time that one of my children one of my sons did this with me. Like, I'm watching it play out in my head right now.
Yeah.
He asked me for a conversation. Hey, Dad, do you think we can have a conversation? Can we go sit on the back porch? Because for me, you want to date me? Get on the back porch with me. Like, that's the greatest date spot ever during the summer, right? Sunshine, the pool, I'm great. So my son says, hey, do you think we can hang out on the back porch?
Right.
Excellent. You don't like to hang on the back porch? Let's do it. We go on the back porch.
Yeah.
While we're back there, 3 minutes in, he says, hey, I have something I'd like to share with you. Okay. And I remember he hits me with, I tried weed.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is a moment,
Yeah.
right? A very real moment for me to go, wait, you did what?
Yeah.
I've told you. Why would you do that?
Right.
I cannot believe that you would do. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
That could have very easily been my response. I promise you, dating Dad would have taken a left turn. Might not have happened again.
Right. Yeah.
I remember receiving this information, and inside, every alarm's going off. But on the outside, it was, okay, so let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Man, what did you feel? What was the environment? How did that happen? What did you learn? Like, man, can I tell you about a time? Let's invest. It was one of the sweetest, greatest conversations I had with one of my sons.
Yeah.
Amazing, because he felt like I'm going to take Dad to a place he's comfortable. I can be open and honest.
Yeah.
He'll receive it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. If you go with this and it's not a safe place for vulnerability,
Right.
may not happen that way.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to that. It goes back to those emotions, right? When he brought that to you, obviously you said those alarms are going off, and it's what are those alarms? Fear, concern. What does this mean? I mean, your mind immediately goes to the worst case scenarios, right? And so, in our coaching moments and what we've tried to do ourselves, even in our own real life things, is this going to cause a reaction or a response? Mm-hmm. And you're so good about teaching that, but we're so quick to react. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you've done this. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. Oh my gosh, it goes straight to that fear. And so stopping and taking a minute going, okay, my kid needs a response from me. My kid needs a response that's going to be life-giving, that's going to be healthy, not my reaction, because my reaction is going to be crazy, right? Just absolutely crazy. So it's, what is that response? What is that response that's going to allow this conversation to happen in the future if they have something that they need to bring to us, and know that we're going to handle it with kid gloves, and know that they're safe to bring us real life struggles that they're going to walk through? And what is that thing that I'm going to say that's going to push them away, that makes me an unsafe place to open up and to trust? What is that thing?
I will tell you, we talked on the porch that day.
Yeah.
And we absolutely circled back.
Right.
And had a deeper conversation later on.
Right.
But it was because what was invested that day that allowed me to speak into putting rules and boundaries in place in another day.
Yeah.
They definitely got a response. They did not get the reaction of what was going off inside,
right.
Which is what you say, the fear, the worry, the insecurity, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I love it. Listen, date your children.
Yes.
Here's what I will also tell you. Like we always say, if you're struggling to date your spouse, you're probably going to have a tough time dating your children. Yeah. Don't let your spouse see you care more about dating your children than they see you care about dating them.
Yeah.
Date your children as an overflow of how you date your spouse.
Yes.
That needs to be the thing you live by.
Absolutely. And this one's very important to us. You are never going to regret the time that you invest and spend.
Amen.
You will not look back and say, man, I wish I had spent less time with them. That's not going to happen.
No, you will not.
Yeah.
So, listen, we love you guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget, next week is our live virtual coaching. So it'll be you and I live talking about the things of marriage, answering questions. So that's for all of our Stronger supporters. Encourage you, go to the website, check out Becoming a Stronger Supporter today so that you can be a part of next week's live coaching. We'll see you then.
Once again, we want to say thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. Our true desire is this has brought value to you, your marriage, and or your family. The fact is, we can't do what we do without the support of you. By your liking, subscribing, and sharing this content, it reaches to those that are beyond our reach. Also, we would encourage you, check out our website, brokenforbetter.com. Become a monthly supporter, because by you supporting us, you too are making a difference in marriages.
We want to stay connected with you. So follow us on all the different social media platforms at Broken for Better, because on those different platforms, we're going to be giving tools, we're going to have events, all the different ways that we can stay connected, and we want to be connected.
One of the terms that we've adopted is, if your marriage will visit a fitness center, you too can avoid a trauma center. We truly believe in marriage coaching. It doesn't matter what season of life you're in, whether your marriage is a 10 or whether your marriage is a 1. We offer marriage coaching to take it to another level.
Thank you for joining us.